it loud enough? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming to the session on understanding niche markets. I call it dynamic solutions, and I hope from my first slide it gives you a little preview of what we're into. Usually my slideshows or my presentations are like one of the end scenes of the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, where Dave the astronaut goes through this amazing color spectrum. And if you're the same age as me, you probably sat in the front row like this, watching all the colors fly by you. So that's my show. I'm going to be defining a few things, and I'll introduce myself formally a few slides down the road, but I am Steve Gillick. I'm the president of Talking Travel. Just to clear up a misconception, you can pronounce niche any way you like. I pronounce it niche mainly because of my high school French, the same reason I would say foyer as opposed to foyer, or gagnon as opposed to the name Gagnon, which some people both are correct. Okay. Niche is also perfectly fine. And as a matter of fact, some of you may be familiar with the Abbott and Costello baseball routine. The part that you don't always hear is the beginning, where they start battling back and forth, playing word games about niche. And of course, Abbott says, you have to find a niche in life, and Costello immediately comes up and says, well, if you've got a niche, you've got to scratch it. So niche is fine, niche is fine. Let's get right into it. I call it understanding niche marketing because a lot of times when we hear the word understanding, we think of things like comprehension, awareness. All I want to do is sort of get a superficial look at it. But in fact, niche marketing, once you get into it, it becomes you. It's kind of like delving into the details, applying knowledge, or as we say, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, actually doing what you're saying. So the agenda for today, niches, where you fit in, skill acquisition, the W5, which is the who, what, when, where, why. I'm going to summarize things, and then at the very end, I've got a 3.5-minute case study to show how you can apply this to a destination. This is a niche. These are fashionistas, and this is the Harajuku area of Tokyo. And on Harajuku Bridge every Sunday, you get a lot of young people dressing up as in cosplay, which is short for costume play, or Lolita, or punk rock, or visual K, which is very colorful. They get dressed up in all sorts of amazing costumes. And right around the corner from this is Takeshita Street, where you can actually buy some of these costumes if you're interested on your next trip to Tokyo. So fashion is a niche market, and I'll be pointing out a few others as we go. So I'm Steve Gillick. I'm the president of Talking Travel. I started it in 2012, been in the industry for 36 odd years. Some of you may know me. I write a column for Travel Industry Today. And as a matter of fact, my next column, which I think is coming out next week, is on travel multitasking, which is one slide that I put in here. I'm also a contributor, to Travel Market Report, and I do that from time to time. I think my most popular article was How to Sell a Destination You've Never Been To. So if you haven't seen that one, you might want to look it up. And I also started publishing the Travel to Destination series, partly because I love destinations and partly because I love niche markets. So these are the first 6 covers, and in the top I've got climbing Santa Ana volcano in El Salvador, adventure travel, going to Xcaret and the Mayan Riviera, which some of you have been to. This is the Saturday morning market in Villa de Leyva, Colombia. And markets are a niche market, so people go to places just to visit the markets and learn about them. Small town, this is Doolin in Ireland, and that's a niche market, going to small towns, small places, going to harbors. Culinary is a big niche market, and that's the first cover of Travel to Japan. And then I'm really into masks and spiritual ghosts and things like that. And this is the Namahage of Japan in the Oga district. So those are the first covers that I've written. Now I also put this together as an example of what you can do. I just called it, these are a few of my favorite things because I was in that Julie Andrews mood that day. Let's talk travel. But if you're on your own, if you're an independent contractor, you can do this. Or if you're in an agency, you can do this. Either individuals can do this, or you can get together as an agency and visually depict the different niche markets that you're interested in doing or that you are able to offer. You could even have a contest out of it and have one for each agent and say, guess which niche market, and you win a something, coffee down the street. So these are all the niche markets that I'm interested in when I travel. Everything from masks to cultural dancing. I'm really into globes and maps. I love markets. I'm into photography, safaris. Last year in Panama, Gonzalo, my tour guide, turned out to be a birder, which originally was not very satisfying to me because I didn't really know too much about bird watching, and I thought, what am I into? But after an hour with Gonzalo, we became birders. And last year when I was in Ireland, actually at the beginning of this year, I had a falconry lesson, so that's how was my hawk. And again, music, very big. Art, Egon Schiele is one of my favorite artists, so I go to art galleries, I collect sake cups, I just got into wine and learning about different beers. So these are all mine, so it's a good example of what you can do visually. And postcards are pretty inexpensive to print at your local printer, or you can get a poster done. So we're going to start with a pop quiz. My background is as an educator. So if you can just write down the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to keep this simple. And we're going to pick up the pace of it. Okay, question 1. Luxury Benjamin cruise are the three largest niche markets. Is it true, false, maybe, or technically they're not niche markets? We gotta go. Number 2. Culinary travel is the most lucrative for travel agencies. True, false, maybe, well, only for specialized agencies. Got it? Number 3, it's essential for you personally to be a bird watcher to sell birding tours to birders. True, false, maybe, or what's so complicated about watching a bird? And the last one, all right. What's the difference between lifestyle travel, special interest travel, niche travel, bespoke travel, curated travel, and value travel? There's a world of difference. There is no difference. Does it really matter? I need another coffee. Got it? Yeah. So just hold on to those. So let's talk about what niche is all about. Niche comes from the French word nicher, meaning a nest, but they also think it might come from Italian roots, meaning seafood or a mussel, or it could even mean a dog kennel. You also hear the term niche used when you're talking about basilicas and temples, and it could be like a little cove where a religious statue is kept. The main thing is it's a little part of something. So in the marketing world, it's a subset. So you have a market, you have different divisions, and you have different niche markets. Some of them are